All right, what's good? We're back. Yours truly, one and only Paul Pickett, host of the Paul Pickett Podcast, aka Triple P, aka the Common Sense Podcast. Your source for music, sports, politics, world events, and much, much more. Don't forget, video version goes to YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Rumble, BitChute, and I also will stream it live on Twitch and Twitter. Also stream live on TikTok as a pre-record. Then the audio version goes Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Deezer, TuneIn, Stitcher, Slacker, iHeartRadio, Player FM, and much more. You could just Google Paul Pickett Podcast. You see the name above me. A ton of games to get into last night. We got to start with the Charlotte Hornets game. Toronto and Charlotte. It was 128 to 108. OG Anunoby gave you 23 points, 36 from Pascal Siakam, and 20 from Fred VanVleet, who also had 20 assists. That's crazy. You don't normally see that. 20 points and 20 assists. A 20-20 game on assist. And Toronto should be a lot better than they are. They got Fred VanVleet, Scotty Barnes, Jacob Poeltl, Pascal Siakam, OG Anunoby, Precious Achiuwa coming off the bench, and Chris Boucher. Charlotte Hornets, we started a bunch of bums. Bryce McGowan's, JT Thor, Mark Williams is he's a Duke player, rookie this year. Some guy's name I can't even pronounce put up 26 points. Theo Maladin gave you 21 from James Bouknight off the bench. James Bouknight actually probably should have started his game, to be honest with you. Kelly Oubre didn't play. Of course, P.J. Washington didn't play. LaMelo, Dennis Smith Jr., Che Rozier, Gordon Hayward. If we're load managing, we should have been doing that a lot earlier now. We shouldn't have waited till like the last 2 or 3 games to start doing that. It's a little too late. Nets beat the Jazz. Lloyd Marketing gave you 23, 19 from Ochai Agbaji, and 32 from Taylor Horton Tucker. Taylor Horton Tucker has been balling out of late. That's probably the third game I see him put up 20 or 30 points. And like the last 4 games, somebody's got to put up some big numbers. And it could be a good sign for the Jazz going into next year. Brooklyn Nets, Cameron Johnson gave you 19. 14 from Claxton, 30 from Bridges, and 17 from Dinwiddie. I said Bridges was going to get to 20 points a game before the end of the season once he got to Brooklyn, when I started seeing how he was scoring over there. I predicted he'll get to 20.5 before the end of the season. He put up another 30-pointer. He had a 40-point other game. Let's see what his scoring average is at right now. 20.2. He might not get it. He's been at 20.2 last game. But if he puts up 30 and 40-point games in the rest of the last 2-3 games, he could get it. He could pull it off. But he's definitely going to be balling out next year. Brooklyn is definitely going to get their money's worth from him. All right, let's go on to some of these next games. We got Memphis versus Chicago. Chicago beat Memphis 128 to 107. Dylan Brooks gave you 14. Jaren Jackson gave you 31, 21 from Desmond Bane, and 17 from Ja Morant. I think this is why a lot of people still don't have faith in Memphis, even though they're the number 2 seed. Same thing with the Kings. I think the Kings will probably get bounced out the first round. If Memphis has to play the Lakers and make it through the playoff playing tournament and win all the games, they have to play Memphis. A healthy LeBron James and Anthony Davis could beat Memphis. DeMar DeRozan gave you 31 for the Bulls. Zach LaVine gave you 36. Kobe White, North Carolina Tar Heel, gave you 19. And you got 13 and 10 from Nikola Vucevic, and 12 from Patrick Williams. Portland versus Memphis. Portland won 107 to 105. Looks like Shaedon Sharpe might have been the guy on this game. Of course he was, like I predicted. 27 points for Shaedon Sharpe. He's definitely going to be balling out next year. It's a good thing that he's getting a lot of key minutes right now towards the end, so he could go into the next season like really doing his thing. And they got to figure out if they're going to keep Shaedon Sharpe or trade what's his name? Anthony Simons. Like both of them are really pretty good, but they could move on from Anthony Simons and pay Shaedon Sharpe less. And Shaedon Sharpe is actually balling out earlier than Anthony Simons was. Anthony Simons didn't really start balling out till last year. It seems like Shaedon Sharpe is putting on a clinic his first year already as he's getting minutes. Dallas lost to the Hawks, which was a must win for Dallas. And both of these teams are probably the two biggest disappointments. Probably the biggest disappointment in the West is Dallas right now. The biggest disappointment in the East is the Hawks. You got 29 from Luka, 41 from Kyrie, and 13 from Josh Green, and 18 from Christian Wood. Hawks were pretty more well-balanced. 13 from Saddiq Bey. John Collins gave you 18 with 10 rebounds, 14 and 11 rebounds from Clint Capella, 25, 4 and 7 from DeJounte Murray, and 24-12 from Trae Young. And that's what they expected out of Atlanta all year is 25 and 24 from Trae Young and Murray, but they're not getting that night in, night out. Neither one of these guys are really consistent right now. Okay, let's pull up some of these other games. There's a lot of games last night. Got a lot to go over. Washington versus the Knicks. And, of course, the Knicks beat the Washington Wizards, as should. 29 from Corey Kispert, 16 from Johnny Davis, and a few cats off the bench did their thing. Taj Gibson, 14. Jordan got good win, 11 and 11. Kendrick, 9. Okay, but New York Knicks, you got 27 from Quentin Grimes, 21 from Obi Toppin, 27 and 8 assists from Jalen Brunson, and 22 from Emmanuel Quickley. And then you got 8 points and 11 rebounds from Mitchell Robinson. New York Knicks is definitely going to be interesting playoff time. Pistons versus the Magic. Magic waxed them 128 and 102, as should. You got 20 from Killian Hayes, 14 from Jaden Ivey, 12 and 10 from James Wiseman. James Wiseman, since he's got to the Pistons, is putting up a nice amount of double-doubles. And you got 19 from Eugene Amoriai. Well, these African names, too, are hard to pronounce. All these international names, man. European names, these Slovenian names, these African names, they are not the easiest names to pronounce. Franz Wagner gave you 16 and 8 assists. Paolo Banchero gave you 14 with 9 rebounds, 14 and 9 rebounds from Wendell Carter Jr. A lot of well-balanced here. 11.6 assists from Markelle Fultz, 17 from Cole Anthony off the bench for Matar Hill, 18 from Jalen Suggs, and Maurice Wagner gave you 11 and 13 from Goga Batazzi. What are these cats in their names? Spurs versus Kings. This is why I'm not sold on the Kings. Spurs beat them 142 to 134. When I look at this box score, I better see no DeMontis Sabonis, no Kevin Huerter, no De'Aaron Fox, and no Harrison Barnes if the Kings lost this game. All right, so the Spurs, you got 15 from Malachi Branham. Diop gave you 13, 16 from Zach Collins, 17 from Trey Jones, 26 off the bench from Julian Shapani. It looks like a Dominic Barlow gave you 20. Whoa, Doug McDermott gave you 30 points off the bench in 28 minutes as well. This is why I'm not sold on the Kings. They had all their starters. And they let Doug McDermott come off the bench and pretty much, get super hot. And I mean, Harrison Barnes gave you 15, 18 from Keegan Murray, 26 from Domantas Sabonis, 13 from Kevin Huerter, and 28 from De'Aaron Fox. Three of the players were like over a negative 17. Everybody was a negative on the starting five. This is why I'm not sold on the Kings. You can't be losing that game, man. Still got 5 games to go through. Lakers dominate the Rockets, as should. 18 from LeBron, 40 from Anthony Davis. I'll tell you what. Towards the end of the season, since Anthony Davis has came back healthy, he's grabbed the baton and ran with it because he's put up a lot of 30-piece and 40-piece. They're going to need Anthony Davis to do this all throughout the playoffs. He gave you 40 and 9 with 2 blocks. And LeBron gave you 18 points, 11 assists, and 10 rebounds, triple-double. Austin Reeves gave you 18 points, 8 assists. He almost had a double-double. D'Angelo Russell could have gave you a little bit more, but Malik Beasley gave you 13 and 20 from Rui Hachimura, who gave you 20 and 12 rebounds off of the bench. So, yeah, that was – Lakers are really getting hot at the right time. Suns, Durant and Suns sizzle as Thunders fall. Durant gave you 35, 19 from DeAndre Ayton with 11 rebounds, 22 from Booker with 10 assists, and 16 and 8 assists from Chris Paul. You almost had 3 players with a double-double, and 2 of them almost had a double-double off assist. Phoenix Suns might be my favorite to come out the West. OKC, you got 39 from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. What more do you expect? 14 from Aaron Wiggins, 16 from Josh Giddey with 9 rebounds and 8 assists, and 12 from Jalen Williams and 14 from Lou Dort. I still like OKC going forward. Jalen Williams, a rookie. Josh Giddey, second year. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. It's like his 4th or 5th year, which is around the time when you start to really find out if a cat is going to hit their peak or not. Indiana loses to the Cavs. Aaron Nesmith gave you 14. Jordan Nwora gave you 15. 19 from Benedict Mathurin, who's doing pretty good. And not much for nobody else. You got 40 from Donovan Mitchell. What more do you expect? I mean, he's putting up 30-point, 40-point wing dinners all year long. 20 from Darius Garland. 15 from Caris LeVert off the bench. 15 from Jared Allen. 14 and 16 rebounds and 4 blocks from Evan Mobley. Oh, yeah, Evan Mobley was doing this pretty much last night with 16 rebounds and 4 blocks. They're going to be very interesting come playoff time. Very interesting. And in the last 2 games were the most important games. Sixers and the Bucks. and Denver and Golden State. These games are like pretty much probably going to decide the MVP race, I would say. Golden State lost to the Denver Nuggets 112 to 110. Dante DiVincenzo gave you 18 with 13 rebounds, 25 from Klay Thompson, 21 from Curry, who only hit 28% of his shots. And Klay Thompson only hit 33%, 32%. Kevon Looney only hit 33%. He don't even shoot nothing but layups and dunks. 28% from Draymond. They just did not hit nothing. 17 from Jordan Poole, who was the only one that hit 50% of his field goals besides Dante DiVincenzo. Michael Porter Jr., though, gave you 29, 11 rebounds, 13, 10 rebounds, and 7 assists and 2 steals from Aaron Gordon. He almost had a near triple-double with assists. And Jokic didn't even play. Jeff Green played center. And Jamal Murray put up 26 and 8. Jokic is inactive, so he was probably – he didn't – that's the thing. He wasn't playing against Giannis or Embiid, so he could afford to sit out this game, and they still won. So, yeah. And then the Sixers, Antetokounmpo dominates it versus Embiid in the Sixers. Embiid gave you 28, 9, 5 assists, 29 from Tyrese Maxey. James Harden, of course, didn't show up at all. And that's going to be the difference. James Harden is going to be the difference maker in the playoffs for the Sixers. It's James Harden. It's his. He's going to make or break the Sixers in this. It really, they go as far as James Harden takes them, because he's going to have to ball the hell out, man. Not just Embiid. Giannis gave you 33 with 14 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 blocks, 1 steal, 19 from Chris Middleton with 9 assists, 21 from Brook Lopez, 18 from Drew Holiday. All their guys balled out that were supposed to ball out. And I think right now I would say Giannis or Jokic are the MVP favorites. Embiid, I would have it number 3 right now, especially because he sat out against Joker that one game, and he got dominated by Giannis this game. I can't put Embiid. I can't give it to him. I just can't give it to him. I would love for, and I'm on the record saying this. I want Embiid to win the MVP. I want the Sixers to come out the East. But I'm not going to, this isn't the biased podcast. This is the Paul Pickett podcast. And Paul Pickett's not biased. I'm not just going to say something just to say it. I'm not Skip Bayless. I'm not Max Kellerman. I'm always going to say what I feel at any given moment. I'm not going to speak my truth or his truth or her truth. I'm going to speak the truth. And the truth of the matter is, Embiid is not number 1 in this race no more, because it's a week-to-week race. It's a game-to-game. When you play against guys that are in the MVP race against you, and they're top 3 in the MVP race against you, and they do this to you, you go down. You go down a notch, So I would say it's, to be honest with you, and it might be Giannis at number. I would give Giannis number 1 over Joker. It's really tough. It's really tough because Giannis didn't have Middleton most of the season. Drew Holiday got hurt some of the season. Giannis was a high usage power forward, and he's not like a typical point forward that like LeBron, who's looking to pass first and whatnot. And Giannis don't even really have a jumper or a great free throw shot. And people, even though they try to downplay that for his skill set, he still can't be stopped. Giannis is unstoppable. The only person stopping Giannis is Giannis. Giannis. Nobody else on the planet is stopping Giannis Antetokounmpo except Giannis Antetokounmpo. Nobody else. Ask me the question can anybody stop Giannis Antetokounmpo? You know what I'm going to say? Can they do it? They're not going to be able to do it. Not going to be able to do it. No way, no how. Not in a million years. Not while he's in his prime. All right, let's go into the play-in. Lakers are up to the 7th seed. Golden State loses the next game. If they lose the next game or the last two games, and Pelicans or the Lakers win the last two games, one of those teams are going to fall into the 6th seed, and the Warriors are going to fall into the play-in tournament. And they were talking about today, like on used to be called Speak for Yourself. Now I think it's just called Speak. Like the Western Conference is wide open because you can poke holes into every team's argument of why they won't win. Denver, still inexperienced as far as winning goes. I still gotta see Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. and Aaron Gordon prove that they could win all the way to the West, go all the way to the NBA Finals and win. Phoenix, I still got to make sure that Chris Paul and Kevin Durant does not get hurt in one of these series. Clippers, we got to make sure that Paul George and Kawhi Leonard actually going to play all the games because apparently Kawhi Leonard, Ty Lue got mad at Kawhi Leonard the other day because Kawhi Leonard only played the first half of the game, didn't play the second half of the game, so he could try to play back-to-backs. Well, how about that's not playing back-to-back if you only play one half of the game and you don't play the other half. That's not playing back-to-back. It's playing half-to-back. Half-to-back. That's all it is. Kings, I'm not sold. No playoff experience. Memphis, once again, no playoff winning experience. Warriors can't win on the road. You can't win a championship in the NBA if you can't win on the road. I could probably have less holes in Lakers if they were actually not in the play-in tournament right now. Because I could say a healthy LeBron and AD should be able to beat Denver, the Kings, and Memphis at least. And the Pelicans, and the Minnesota Timberwolves, and the OKC Thunder. For that matter. Let me go to NFL.com, see if there's anything newsworthy. Brock Purdy apparently looks okay after the surgery. And they were talking about, watch out, Brock Purdy will probably be starting for the 49ers more likely. Stafford looks good, but I don't know that Stafford can win another Super Bowl. I don't know that he can. Yeah, I'm not seeing nothing really super newsworthy for the NFL at all. So, yep. Once again, I want to thank y'all for tuning in. Paul Pickett Podcast. And I'm out.